Okay. Hello, everybody. I'm just going to wait to see to about 20, 30 people come on board here before starting. I know Gio's got his live stream and he's about to finish up his live stream. So if you have any questions, start typing them and we can go from there. Also, guys, if anybody wants to join me on the stream and has something pertinent to this discussion, I'm going to put a link here and you can just click it and you can either come on with video and audio or just audio. That's up to you. I know some people prefer to be anonymous, so that's fine also. But just keep it in the context of the discussion and no vulgar language, please. So let's see. Gio's still going. But I'm going to go ahead and start and go ahead with this one. 9740 Empire says red ones go faster. If you mean by that that you get rid of them faster, yeah, for sure. And now, why is this? Jenny, hi Jenny, how are you? Hello, Brad. Let's start with the red flags. Yes. Hey guys, I don't know why I'm getting this. Can you hang on a second here? Just let me see if I'm. Oh. I'm not sure why I'm getting it so, your comments so large on the screen here. Let me go and see if I can edit that. Banners. See, minimal. Yeah, that's better. Okay. So go back to comments. Sorry about that. I had to correct that. I'm still new at this. So good morning, Malapuasca. Morena, how are you? She has a video channel, by the way. Check her out. And good morning to Jean-Pierre. Good morning, William. And good morning, Christopher. The amenities in my condo are treating me well. I got the pool, I got the gym. However, if you saw my video, I don't have the game room. So that's a minus, but still, it's really good. I love it here. And I love the whole Newtown area, so it's wonderful. Which red flags are you talking about for men or women? I'm talking about for men. Maybe Jenny the Morena can talk about for women. But anyway, let's get started on that because we have 40 people here. So I was talking to Gio the other day about red flags, and actually he did a video on it that will be coming out soon, but I thought I would discuss it here. And what red flags are there? And let's start with social media. I think one of the red flags is when you're in the West is social media. If she has a Facebook, if she has a lot of foreigners on the Facebook, that's a red flag. If, for example, she has a lot of poses in bikini, because most Filipinas, good Filipinas, are kind of reserved. When they go to the beach, they go to the pool, they wear shorts, or I've seen even some wear jeans and they wear a t-shirt typically. So if she's wearing a bikini and posing online or posing on YouTube, that tells you she's become very westernized. And if that's what you want, that's great. But I think most guys that come here to the Philippines want a girl that's different than the West, and maybe that's why they come. And it's Filipina, Life with Mia. Good morning, babe. She has her channel, and her channel is growing. And I think within the next month it will surpass mine. So she's doing really great. So if you guys haven't checked out our channel, you should. She's coming out with another video tomorrow morning, which is going to be an awesome video. So good morning, Jan. Good morning, Jim, from sunny California. Yeah, California is nice. Good morning, GNP Chris. If a Filipina says she doesn't want intimidation before being intimate before marriage, would you consider it being a red flag? I would probably yes, unless she's a virgin, because she has probably been with other guys, and it's not about. How shall I put this? She is trying to negotiate desire or negotiate attraction to you. She's trying to negotiate with you. And that's not genuine attraction. That's not genuine desire. If you attracted someone and you desire someone and you're in love with someone, you're going to go all in. Unless you're a virgin and you want to keep your virginity for marriage. Otherwise, no. Just my opinion. As you guys know, I'm kind of opinionated. Let's see. Ed King of Queens, Geo sent me and gave me $3 to give you for the coffee. Thank you so much, Ed. I appreciate that. Me and Geo will probably go have a coffee after this. Let's get back here. Geo just finished up. Yes, he did. Thank you. That's why I'm getting all the people coming over. So thank you for everybody for coming over from Geo's live stream. Sunrise is here. Melania Trump has some red flags for the dawn. I'm sure she does. Sunrise is a big Trump supporter. So when he comes here, he's always talking about Trump. If she takes birth controls and you ain't getting any, red flag, of course. Yes, and Filipinos in general are very loving and very caring, and when they like someone, they typically go all in. So if she's making excuses why she doesn't want to be intimate with you and she's not a virgin, like I said, that is a red flag. But I know many of you are in the West, so the red flags on social media are different than the red flags being here. Vin says, just came from GeoStream, figure I'd start you off. When will the PI be open? Joke log. Actually, I can answer that, what I think, because I'm a bit more opinionated than most people. But I really think you have to look at Thailand, Vietnam, Malaysia, and see what they're doing there. If Thailand opens up, I don't think it'll be long after Philippines follows, because the Philippines economy is in the doldrums, and they're struggling here. They really are struggling. So they need to do something. And if people, the vaccine production is increasing exponentially. I think there's over 3 point something million in the US getting shots every day now. So I just think with the increase in vaccine production and everything, I think vaccine prices will go down. The PI will probably start with people who have been vaccinated and can prove they've been vaccinated. So I'm still an optimist. But with the government here, you just never know. They seem to change their minds every second week. So there's that. Is Mia single? No, she's still with me, buddy. That's why she calls me babe on live stream. Good morning, Paul. I have arrived in Mandaue end of November. Good to hear you are now in Mactan. Just bought a motorbike here and trying to stay alive. Meet up for coffee and a ride out sometimes. Sure, Cliff. Just send me a message on my on my email. Just go to About section and send me a message, and we can meet up and go for a ride, man. That'd be cool. Am I single? Nope. I think a lot of guys wish you were. Okay. Morning, Paul from Colorado. Morning, RL. Morning to Ralph B from Australia. Too many OFWs lost their jobs. Yeah, this is really true. And this has consequences for the Filipino economy because so much money was going back from OFWs to the Philippines. So that has had a very negative effect on the Filipino economy. The other thing that a lot of OFW bought investment condos and they were renting out through Airbnb, and now there's no one or a very small percentage that are rented out. So they're really struggling there as well. So if this continues much longer, there's going to be a fire sale of condos, I believe. So there's that. A girl that says she is shy after having an intimate relationship with you and never initiates, she is probably just seeking a better life and not attracted to you. Yes, that is really true. A girl that's into you, she's gonna, maybe not the first few times, but after a while she's gonna, especially if she's living with you, she's gonna initiate it. She tells you it's a girl's night out, and when she comes back, she smells like nutsack. Red flag. yeah. This girl nights out stuff. I don't do that. I know what happens there, and you have to meet guys and get attention, and so yeah, that's really a red flag. Personally, I think that's a red flag if they're like attention seekers. And social media, they're trying to seek attention. They go out, they're trying to seek attention. They're trying to get eye contact with other guys just to get attention. That's a red flag. In a couple of months, the US and UK at least will have completed their vaccine programs, and that will free up millions of doses a day for other countries. Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. And might not even be a couple of months the way they're exponentially increasing the production. So yeah, so once that happens, I think countries like the Philippines will start getting large amounts of doses, and I think that will resolve a lot in the world. If you are 55 plus, fat, out of shape, why would a young beautiful Filipino find you attractive? She is with you to better her life. Simple as that. I think you have a good point there, David, and I think some are. However, I think actually some fall in love with the guy because they're with the guy and the character of the guy, and they do fall in love with the guy. The initial attraction probably isn't there, but after spending some time with the person, yes. The other thing is, if you are 55 plus and fat, me, I say, be the best you can be. Go on a diet, hit the gym, be the best you can be for the girls that you are dating, so you have also more options and abundance of choice, which is really important for you as a man. Ride for Life says, you have a natural beauty, Paul. That's why I went and lived in the Philippines before settling down in a relationship. Yeah, there are many natural beauties here. Mia is, she's a natural beauty, and there are all over the place. I sit outside at a coffee shop and look at all the girls walking by, and Gio's single, so he makes comments sometimes. But there are so many beautiful girls, and I see it in Duma, I see it here. Everywhere I go, there are just an abundance of beautiful girls, and so many single. And of course you don't know them all. Do they have red flags? Many of them do, and we can get into some of that now. But to me, another red flag when you are here is how do they act? Do they try to control you with tempo, with mood swings and stuff like that? That's a red flag. So there are a bunch of red flags, and maybe you guys can mention some of the red flags that you have seen in girls, or that you would like to mention on the live stream. USA is up to 3 million shots a day, so midsummer for 70 plus. Yeah. And I think, I remember when the new year started, I think there were 500,000, and now they're up to 3 million a day. So, we're talking, probably next month will be 4 million. So who knows? They could be done in the US by, June, July, June, July. Paul, at some point, won't the Philippines government run out of money? That's a good question. I'm not sure about that because I haven't really studied the issue, but they get money from taxation like any other government, and a lot of the taxations are from certain companies that are here, like call centers and all that, and they have minimized their staff, I think, because of COVID. And then hotels, basically non-existent anymore. So all that has got to have a big dent on the revenue, and their expenses have shot up in the air because they've had all these controls, and they have to hire a lot of police, and the police are working overtime and all that. So I just don't think they can afford it anymore. And I think they're going to have to open up sooner or later, preferably sooner. But I think, I know they've borrowed a lot of money from China, but that money is going to run out soon too. So yeah, they have to do something. The economy here is going down, and it's sad to see all the closures. Even here in Mactan, which is, upscale part, you see the restaurants are slow, and the restaurants that were supposed to open haven't opened, and they have no plans of opening. So there's that. And there's a lot of unemployment. If there's a fire sale, are you going to buy up the stock and become the real estate king of Cebu? If I had that kind of money, I think so. But seriously, if things do crash, that's when you buy something, right? This condo I'm in, I think the lady said they go for 5 to 6 million pesos, so about $100,000 to $120,000 US dollars. If it suddenly went down to 60, 70,000, yeah, hell, I'd buy. Yeah, and just hold on to it till things turned around and make a good profit on it. Yeah, I would. Morning from Mexico. Ran away from Colorado, awaiting the PI to open. Hey, Jack. Well, how is Mexico? How is it living in Mexico? I like your informative chat. Please stick to the subject. Okay, I will. But you guys have to stick to the subject because I'm reading your comments. So, red flags. Okay, so what else? What was I talking about? The social media. Another thing that I always look at, like when I was talking to women, is if there is a father in their life. And I don't mean it like a biological father, but also like a manly figure in their life. Do they have like an alpha person in their life as a woman? Because there have been statistical studies that show that women that don't have that, they're more prone to, what do they call that? I forgot the psychological name for it, but basically they have a lot of mood swings, and they have less capability of bonding and staying long-term relationships on average. So that's also something to look for in a woman you're dating if she's done that. Another red flag for me is tattoos and piercings. A small tattoo I think is fine, but if they have a lot of tattoos and piercings, that's typically a girl who, again, typical, I'm not saying all, but has issues, and maybe dates around a lot. And I've all the girls that I've met with that have had issues. So for me, it's been 100%. So that's to me is a red flag. I'll go a few more comments here. Don't forget to thumbs up. Yeah, thank you. Thumbs up, everybody, and share once the stream is over. David says, I agree with that, Paul. If you are fat and out of shape, work out, eat better, live longer, and enjoy life. You will appreciate, and your lady will appreciate. Exactly. That's exactly right. If you're in shape, you got a six-pack, you're working out, your girl will appreciate a lot more. She has to have that visual attraction too. She might love your character, but if that's not the visual attraction, yeah, she'll still feel that attraction to you maybe, but not as much. Even, I mean, God, guys, look at George Clooney or one of those actors that works out and eats healthy, and he's what, 55, 56 or something, or close to 60, and the girls go wild for him. So be the best you can be. Completely agree with you, David. And I tried that. Have I let myself go? Yes, I did during the corona. I made a lot of good food, and there was not the possibility of working out. Well, that's a lie. I could have gone outside and skipped, and I could have done push-ups and so on, but I became a bit lazy, and I learned my lesson. So, yeah, Mia makes fantastic food, and the Filipino culture: eat, eat, eat. Paul, do you notice girls giving you attention when you're outside? I cannot comment on that, Scott, since Mia is on the live chat. No, seriously. Yes, I do. Sometimes I'm walking. Sometimes I'm oblivious. Sometimes I'm talking and thinking, and I don't. My vision is just straight, or I'm deep into a thought, so I don't really notice sometimes. But I have friends that will go and say, "Hey, did you see those girls waving to you?" And I said, "No," and I'll look back and I see them waving at me, and I'll just keep walking. But I do get attention here and there, and you'll see girls. I mean, they have the mask on, but they're smiling by their eyes, right? They'll look at you and smile, and maybe turn back and smile again. So yeah, you do get attention. But I'm in shape, and I try to be the best I can be. And I think any guy in their 50s or even 60s, if you're in shape and you look good and you try to be the best you can be, I don't think it's hard. But like the other guy says, if you're fat, you don't take care of yourself, and you got a double cheek, and there's also that women want to be with someone who's fun. They want to go places, they want to do things. So if you're just sitting at a bar drinking all the time and not doing anything, then yeah, the woman just is with you for security maybe. But if you're doing a lot of fun, she thinks it's fun to be with you. Andrew Norman says, I heard a YouTuber speculate that the US might use excess vaccine supply as a leverage to sway Filipino policy towards the US as opposed to China. I don't have a point. It's just interesting to think about. What kind of leverage would they need towards the Philippines? You mean like for the bases and stuff like that? I don't know. I don't think the US needs leverage. I think they have a lot of good friends in Asia, Australia being one of them, Taiwan being the other, and many other countries. And I think more and more people are starting to realize that China is not what they thought it is. I read a very interesting article yesterday about a lot of manufacturing is starting to leave China now and diversifying to other countries. And I think that trend will continue because of what's going on in the US, and the US doesn't want to be reliant on China. So and Europe started down the same direction. So I think China will be hurting in a few years. I know they're trying to increase their domestic consumption and all that, but I can see that more and more countries will diversify their manufacturing to more democratic countries. Good morning, Lori. Philippines presidential election is May 9th, 2022. They will try to open before the election, or they may not get elected. Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. David says, "Hi Paul, just switched from Geo chat. He ended in order for us to see you." Yeah, thank you, Geo. Take Geo out for some coffee. Will do. I'll take him out right after this. We'll go get a coffee and have a good talk. Let's see. I always lose a place where I was, so I'm gonna have to have Geo show me how he does this. He's he's much more experienced at this than I am. Let's see. David says, "I'm for one very glad you're not single, Mia. You and Paul make each other very happy." Thank you for that, Willie. I think I read these. Sorry, guys. Albert says hello to Mia. 70% of Americans won't volunteer for a vaccine, in my opinion. Well, percentage-wise, I think they're up to almost 40% of people have had the first shot. So I think you're wrong there. I think it's probably 30-40% that don't want because of rumors and speculation and all that, and maybe lack of testing. I, for one, if I can get the shot, I will take it. A red flag is when you randomly video chat a girl and 9 out of 10 times she doesn't answer. It takes 5 seconds to answer and for her to say she's busy. I stopped talking to a girl because of this. Yes, absolutely right. But it also depends, if she has a laptop and no smartphone. I'm assuming she has a smartphone, so, but you're right about that. If she doesn't, once in a while it's fine. She might be busy. She might be in the CR, but 9 out of 10 times, yeah, there's something going on. Filipinas are like YouTubers telling you what you want to hear for money. I don't tell you what you want to hear. I usually tell you the opposite. So that's not me. What percent of 340 million Americans received the full course of vaccine? The full course, I think I read, this is maybe a week ago, I think it was around 20%, if I remember correct, 20 to 30%, and about 40% have had the first shot. So, hold on a second, guys. I need to... Jenny the Morena says, if you men have a checklist picking a woman, should a Filipina do so also? The funny thing, expats have the balls in their hand, money, Filipina don't. If we turn the table around, do Pinay pick expats? I think I think if you look at Pinays that have money, that come from the upper middle class, very few of them actually date expats. So I guess that answers that. We should have a checklist. I think everybody should have a checklist of what they want and don't want. Women have a checklist, especially in the West, right? He's got to be over 6 foot. He's got to make over 100K. He's got to this, he's got to that. So why shouldn't men have a checklist? Of course they should. Absolutely they should. I'm sure you have a checklist also, Jenny. We all do, right? Personally, I won't date, not now, but when I was single, I never dated fat girls. I'm just not into that. So that's one of my checklists. A woman that's just me, I wouldn't date. So, everybody has a checklist. Some more extensive than others. Yes, both shots. I'm not sure what you mean by that. When she slips a roofie in your drink and the next day you find her party clothes in your hamper, red flag. I think that usually happens the other way around, buddy. Yeah, of course, we should have a checklist. Yeah. Paul, how much investment does a person has to have if he wants to withdraw about 2,500 per month? Well, if you put it in a REIT, I think in REITs you can get about 5 to 7% now. So just call it 5%. 100,000, that's about 5,000 a year. So at so I think that would give you about 600,000. About 600,000, I think, would get you that. But remember, also you have to consider inflation. So there's that. But from what I've seen, the woman looks so hot, I might be able to toss the Viagra. Or the Cialis. Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying there. And actually, it's a good comment because it's very true. But I won't say more than that. Best place in the Philippines to find an 18 to 20-year-old hardworking girl with less than 3 lifetime sexual partners. I think if you're 18 to 20-year-olds, I don't think you've had a lifetime sexual partner. But if you mean more than 3 guys, I have no idea. I mean, I think you could meet a lot of girls here in Cebu City or in the province. You can meet girls anywhere, really. If you want a girl with a low notch count, I think probably the province is a better bet, just because in Cebu, if they move to Cebu City, they're more anonymous and can do whatever they want without it getting back to their siblings and parents and their friends in that place. So I think probably the province would be a better bet than Cebu City or any city. Women are the ones who say yes or no most of the time all over the world. Yes. Now, women are the ones who are the gatekeepers to the sexual life, but men are actually the gatekeepers when it comes to relationships. Men are the ones who say yes or no to a relationship. So, but when it comes to being intimate, yes, women are the gatekeepers usually. Usually, not always. A good friend of mine received 3 different brands of vaccines because he was compensated in a trial for them. That screws the numbers. Oh, okay. So you mean different? Some people have had shots from different manufacturers. I didn't know that. I don't know what the percentage is of that. You got 5 or 6 shots. Wow, crazy. Just to make money, huh? Crazy what people do for money. Ride for Life says the red flag if she has 6 pairs of high heel shoes and the latest iPhone. That's the latest iPhone. That's a really good point. That's another thing you can see on social media. Does she have a lot of pictures from different hotels, nice hotels, resorts? You know, does she have like the latest iPhone? Does she have a scooter, the newest scooter? That means she's probably again, not for sure, but probably been with many foreigners that have taken her to different places and she's been changed out a lot. Then you got to ask yourself the following question: why did all these foreigners not want to stay with her? So is there an issue with her? And that falls to another category here, is women with high notch counts. You know, if a woman, let's say she's 25 and the longest she's been with a guy is 3 to 6 months, you got to ask yourself the question, why? I mean, there's something in her that has either driven the guys away, or she doesn't want to stay with guys for a long term. She just doesn't have that personality. And you can see that a lot usually by family issues. Hey Paul, I wanted your opinion on this. I'm looking to retire early Southeast Asia in about 5 to 6 years. This will put me around 38 to 39 years old. Well, Mike, if you're going to retire at 39 years old, I assume you have some type of income coming in every month, not just savings. And if you do have savings, you got to have well over $1 million, I would say, depending on your lifestyle. But I would put it at or above $1 million, at least. So the other thing that happens if you're here is, what are you going to do? I mean, 39 years old, you're probably going to live another 50 years. What is your plan here? I mean, I'm semi-retired. I do YouTube and I do a bit of other work online, and I still at times I'm bored. So you got to think about that. If you're an active type of guy like me, I don't think retiring that early is a good thing. Now, if you have the money and you want to semi-retire, what you could do is find like a type of rotational work, maybe 3 months on, 3 months off, or drive a truck for 4 months, come here for 4 months, or 6 months on, 6 months off. I actually knew someone who did that, who was actually married to Filipina, and they would both go to the US and drive a truck for 6 months at a time and then come back and live here in the Philippines. So there are possibilities, but just I would spend a few months here, maybe 6 months before making, or a year before making that decision, if you have that possibility. Okay. Jack says, I'm at the beach in Mexico and I'm enjoying it in Huatulco. Not any tourists, fewer expats, inexpensive, and good food. Yeah, Mexico has wonderful food, really good food. Cebu actually has a lot of good food here. I'm positively surprised. I've had Indian food that was fantastic, Korean food that was great, and I'm just enjoying the restaurants here and the coffee shops. And they have some good supermarkets here that you can get most of the stuff. And more and more you can order stuff on Lazada and Shopee, food stuff, so you can have a complete kitchen and make good food. So I'm starting to enjoy the life here. And like I said in one of my videos, I rented this condo for 6 months, and I'll probably extend and keep this as a base and travel. Wondering Doc says, my best and most loyal GF in Hawaii, ride or die chick who spoiled the heck out of me and was always there, had tattoos, even a huge one on her back. Well, I guess we all have different experiences. My experience hasn't been good. And talking to other guys, it hasn't been good. Also, in 7 months, now waiting for PI to open. Yes, I'm a bit more optimistic than most people. I think by end of third quarter towards fourth quarter, we should see some movement. And I think it'll be like a slow open, a soft open, as I call it. It won't be full-fledged open. So Ed, King of Queens, red flag, kiss your girl and turn around. If she keeps smiling, she likes you. If the face goes back to normal, she does not love you. Okay. Haven't heard that one before. Yeah, but the eyes also give it away. If you're kissing her, the way she looks at you, the way, like if, for example, you're sitting at home and you're just doing stuff and you look up at her and she's kind of looking at you without you even knowing she's looking at you, trying to catch a glance of you. The eyes kind of give it away. And body language is such a giveaway. Like, for example, does she lean into you most of the times? Look at pictures you and her have together. Is she leaning towards you, or is she leaning slightly away from you, or is she neutral? that's kind of a giveaway. And if you're relaxing on the bed, does she want to cuddle and lay on you? Or so body language is a big giveaway. Like when you're talking, is her feet pointed towards you or away from you? So watch her body language. Don't listen to what she says, see what she does. That's to me, that's an important thing. And usually we guys, we get a gut feeling, right? We've all had that gut feeling something is wrong, and a lot of time we ignore it, but I'm telling you, you should listen to it. Mike says, my problem is I have a really good job for a mega corporation and feel like cutting out too early. What do you think? Thanks. Like I said, Mike, I think it depends on your personality. How easy is it for you to take a year off from the corporation and get your job back? If you're a go-getter, if you're like go, and then you come to this lifestyle, I think it's hard to adapt. When I first came here, I actually had a project that I was working on, and I worked probably 8 hours a day. So I was busy with that, and I loved that life. And that project has kind of gone away now, but I'll be honest with you, Mike, I miss working. I miss the hustle, I miss the phone calls, I miss the meetings, I miss meeting customers and doing presentations. I miss all that. I know people think that's crazy, but that's just me. I miss it. And if I had an opportunity, and Mia knows this, I've talked to her about it, if I had an opportunity to go back to work, I think I'd jump on it. Now, the question is, if I did go back to work, how would I adapt after living this lifestyle for 2.5 years? I don't know. I really don't know. But in my mind, I miss it. And I think if I had the chance, I would go back. How long I would last, we would see. But I think I would go back. Depends of stock or real estate. Okay. My real estate pays me $70,000 a year in income, valued at 1.2 in equity, paper assets. You would need more. Yeah, so 70,000 or 1.2, quick calculation in my head, that's what, about 6% return on investment. So that's what I was saying. If you want 25,000, I think 600,000 would get you there. But I do agree with you, Wandering Doc, I would probably have more. I never really had an interest in Pinoy. It depends on the lady. Some like Pinoy, some like foreign, some like both. Why is that, Malapasca Moreno? Why have you never had an interest in Pinoys? Is it the way they are, their character? I know a lot of Pinoys get a lot of girls pregnant and they just leave. Is it that, or what is it about the Pinoy versus foreigner that you're more attracted to a foreigner than Pinoy? I'd really love to know that. I'd love to have you on a live stream and an interview one day, and if you want to do that, just hit me up on the About section, and we can do an interview on an email on the About section. Levels of madness. You go to the mall and she likes to hang out in front of the men's bathroom. Red flag. Yes. Okay. I haven't met that girl yet, but okay. That's yep. Wait. Where am I here? I lost track, guys. Hold on a second. Thank you for that, Matthew. You totally nailed it, Paul. As Europe, USA, Canada, Australia, Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, India, Vietnam, Singapore, and more get China, US open 16 plus on vax. Yeah, I really think so. I think more and more of these countries are coming together. I wouldn't be surprised if later we see some type of NATO force. I mean, not NATO, but that they come up with a force to go against China. Not like have a fight, but to stand against China. So it wouldn't surprise me if all these countries went together and did something, because China is really pushing everybody's buttons, pushing people the wrong way. So there's that. Again, thank you, Matthew. When it comes to China, the whole world understands money for nothing and chicks for free is not true. Yeah, that was a song. Money for nothing and your chicks for free. That was a song in the 80s, right? God, I forget the name of the band. Maybe you can remind me, Matthew. I want my MTV. Yeah, I remember that. I always get these songs in my head. But I never remember the name of the bands. Okay, guys, I lost track here again. Ed of Queen says, Johnson & Johnson's one shot and everyone is getting it. In the USA, everyone is talking about getting the vaccine and is a badge of honor. Yes, I've seen that too on Facebook. Like people will post a picture, and it seems like these conspiracy theories are getting less and less and less, and more people are taking the shot. So, but man, if those conspiracy theories are right and we all end up dying, huh? She wears a peeper but doesn't sell drugs. Red flag. No money. Government will start paying the Americans to get the jab. No, they won't. All the shots sites have a 3-week wait. Yeah, so, but it's getting less and less, and more people are eligible now, so that's also great. Jenny the Morena, you got money? I will date, what? Jenny, you got money? I will date you. I'm broke as a joke. Okay. I think Jenny the Morena actually has a boyfriend, if I remember correctly, when I looked at her channel. So you're out of luck there, buddy. Me and Paul, she's got a good woman for you or ever, because I got a Filipino fiance and made me a birthday cake. I want my birthday and send me a video of her and her nieces singing me a happy birthday. Mia and Paul, she's a good woman for you. Mia, Paul's a good woman for you. I got a Filipino fiance and she made me a birthday cake. I want my birthday and sent me a video of her and her nieces singing me happy birthday. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, Filipino women, they're so nice and they're so thoughtful. You know, for you guys that haven't been here, just the dating scene is completely different here. The way women are, there's not that entitled, that stuck-up way of being. They're just different here, on average again, and the women here are just fantastic. They are fantastic. And if you haven't been here, you need to come. You need to come and live it. Paul, having lived in Europe, the US, and now in the Philippines, what are the biggest difference in the women? Well, you know, I left Norway when I was, 28? And so I was a young guy still, and the women in Norway, they're very free, to be honest, and the dating in the US, I always felt was like a burden. You know, it's like you have to do this, you have to do A, B, and C before she does this. It's like a playbook type of deal. There's no being natural. Okay, you have to take me to 3 dates to do this. You have to take me 4 dates. You have to take me there. It's just, you have to fulfill all these lists, and it's just, I don't know. I really never enjoyed dating in the US unless I was dating girls. Now, I dated a lot of girls that weren't American, that had just moved to the US. That was different. That was, I joined a website called Internations, and they have all these meetups. They had a lot of meetups in Dallas, and I met not a lot, but I met a few girls there that were fantastic girls, and I dated some of them, and They were different than your typical American girls. So there's that. You have the possibility of dating those type of girls. But I love Europe. I mean, I really, really love Europe. And I think after I've got the travel bug out of Southeast Asia, I think me and Mia might end up going back to Norway for a few years and working there a few years, um, and then who knows? But maybe moving down to Spain or Greece or Portugal. I love Spain. The food there is fantastic. Never been to Greece, but I know many who have, and the food there is also fantastic. And the history sites, the castles, all the stuff in Europe is just it's just a fantastic continent. It really is. If you've never visited Europe, you need to go. So the dating is not like Southeast Asia, obviously, but if it's just for women, Southeast Asia. But if you want to see history, culture, if you want fantastic food, different types of nature, man, islands, Europe is just. I've traveled the world and I've never been anywhere that is as fantastic as Europe. So I'm partial to that. So I love the U.S. too. I mean, the U.S. I love the U.S. for the working culture there. When I worked there, I mean, I worked really hard, but the opportunities there to move up if you work hard and just stand out a bit is amazing, and the amount of money you can make is amazing. So, and they have life is easy in the U.S. because we have also fantastic food there, and the restaurants are quick and easy, and so there's a lot of good stuff in the US. But if I was going to visit a continent and go on vacation, I think I would choose Europe over the US. Now, there are some great places in the US too, obviously. Like, if you've never been to Las Vegas, you need to go. If you haven't been to the Grand Canyon, you need to go. There's a lot of good places in the US to visit. But if you had to choose right now and you have the same amount of money, I'd probably go to Europe. I'm biased towards that. Truth comes out living off the government. I bet disability too. I don't know what you're talking. You're not talking to me, are you? Because I don't have any disability. I live off my savings. David isn't crying. What is that about? USA first dose 36.4, second dose 22.3. So I was right. I said between 30 and 40, and 20 and 30 on the other one. So I called it. My memory isn't as bad as I think it is sometimes. Okay. Americans have, Ed from Queen says, Americans have leverage because we have money. If we had no money, us older guys would be very lonely. Yes, of course. I mean, it's just like in the US, right? Why is George Clooney? I mean, what are women attracted to? It's fame, security or money, and of course the physical. And if you have 2 out of 3, you're good. If you have 1 out of 3, you're okay. If you have 3 out of 3, you're made, right? So I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, women and men are not the same. I mean, people like these feminists in the US try to make us believe that we're the same. We're not. We have different attraction cues, and any person that says otherwise doesn't understand women and doesn't understand men and the evolution of women and men and why we are different. You never date a fat girl, but they know where all the good places to eat. Yes. Levels of madness. You're a funny guy, man. You really are. They know all the good places to eat. Yeah, they probably do. I can imagine. Gia says, fat girls have great personalities. They're Mrs. Personality, but they're so ugly. Okay. I think Wandering Doc and David Bear are having a bit of a fight here. So I'm going to ignore that. What are the risks of buying a condo in the Philippines? And are you allowed to rent them out once you purchase them? Okay, yes, you are allowed to buy a condo here. There are some risks. And yes, now, if you're allowed, I'll start, are you allowed to rent them out? That depends on your condo. They have certain rules, and those rules have to be abided by. I'm sure there are certain condo rules in different places where you're not allowed to rent, and that comes back to risk. You might be able to rent out right now, but what if they change those rules in the future and you can't rent them out? I think that has happened. The other risk is, I've seen this a lot here, is that when you first buy a condo, it looks fantastic. But the problem here in the in the Philippines is they just don't put money in upkeep. So things start falling apart. You pay your monthly dues on the condos, and I don't know where it goes, but it seems to go into somebody's pocket and not to upkeep, because I've seen this, and I think Geo can attest to this. 5 or 10 years later down the line, that condo looks like it's in shambles. So you have to be careful about that. Now, if you buy a condo unit that's 10 years old and the upkeep is fantastic, less risk. But if you're doing it for an investment, I'd rather put money in a REIT. So REIT. Look that up in Google, and I'd consider that instead. But if there is a crash, if everything crashes and you can get a condo to 50% off, 40% off, yes, then it's a good investment, obviously. Okay, Geo answered it there. Yep. And some actually do, and then later they might not. So there's that. If you're looking for $2,500 a month after SS, you don't need much. Very obtainable. I use a 4% rule for rough drawdown planning. Yep, that's a good good philosophy there. Yeah. Now, different people have different amounts in Social Security. Some have 2,000, some have less than 1,000. So it depends on that too. But really, for here, I would say a good budget is about 100,000 pesos or 2,000 US dollars. That's a good budget here. And about 25,000 in savings is a must. So a woman that eats more than I do, red flag. Well, I'll tell you what, Mia eats more than me. She stays petite with a flat stomach, so I don't think that's a red flag. I don't know how she eats so much and stays thin, but she burns it all off somehow. Look at vaccine packaging when it arrives in a country. It is labeled with the international logo for biohazard. I think a lot of stuff is considered biohazard. I think vaccines would be one of them. Just because if they have to dispose of it, they have to dispose of it in a certain way. Jenny de Morena, luckily I chose the right men that look only the inside characteristics, not the beauty outside, because money can find it by hard working. Expats have money, but attitude can't even suck up. Okay, so that's quite a few things there to unpack, but looking at the inside beauty, yes, I do agree with you. The inside beauty is very important, meaning the character, the way the woman is, but there has to be a physical attraction. I mean, look at me and Mia. I was attracted to her, and only after the reason I spent time with her about a month or two before we started serious dating is because I was attracted to her. And slowly, I was attracted to her character and found out who she is. If she was some fat girl, I just would have never gone on a date with her. I just would have never done that. And if she was unattractive, I wouldn't have gone on a date with her. I said this to Mia once, and we had this discussion, like, if she, for example, and hopefully this never happens to anyone, but it has happened to people. Like, for example, me and Mia are dating now. Let's say she was in a horrible accident and her face got disfigured. I wouldn't leave her, I'd still love her because now I know her character, I know who she is, But if I had met her at somewhere and her face was disfigured, I would have never even considered going on a date with her. I know that sounds shallow, but that's the way we men are. We are physically attracted first and foremost, and then the other comes afterwards. So hopefully I answered your question. Jenny, did you choose a Filipino guy? Yeah, she probably did, by the sounds of it. Most of the vaccine brands are shipped in dry ice to sub-zero temps. Of course, it has a biohazard sticker. Level of madness. Dude, I need to have you on my live stream one day. That girl always has a sore neck from rubbernecking guys. Red flag. Always wants her neck massaged. So ice cream as well. I guess you're right. Ice cream has to be stored in sub-zero temperatures. I'm married to a Scottish guy. Okay, good to know. Geo, when everything opens up, I'm coming to you in Paul's area. You sold me. Well, welcome here, Dave. We'll have to have a coffee together. That's called, whatever, right inside beauty. Okay. MTV flashback, money for nothing and chicks for free. Stan Hasselback, red flags are hard to see when you are an American man who is older and been invisible in the US and gets a lot of attention from a beautiful young Filipina. You can try and fight it, but it's a battle. That's a very good point, Stan, and that brings me to one of the things I keep emphasizing in my videos. When you get here, take it slow and date many girls before you make a decision to settle down. Know the dating environment. That way you can start seeing the red flags. So that's a really good point. And take it slow is the way to go. Actually, no, take it slow is the way to go. Gio says he loves this area. Come on over. Levels of madness. Paul, bad experience with tattoo women. Don't pick a girl with tattoos on her legs saying Baba was here, red flag. David Barrett, Paul, let me ask you a serious question. Why does love matter to people so much? Why are people concerned with that? Why can't two people just enjoy life? Who cares why she is with you? Just enjoy her. Okay, so that's a lot to unpack there, but love, okay, you can ask the question, what is love? Is it attraction? Is it like you feel the character of the person? What is love is a question, and I'm not going to answer that, but I think when two people are together, they want to feel to that person. You got to enjoy each other. Yeah, you got to enjoy that person's character, but if you're in a serious relationship, you got to feel that that person is with you, what they call love, and she's going to stay with you if something bad happens. That's part of a relationship, right? If I'm with a girl, let's say Mia, she's not this way, but let's say I felt Mia was this way and she's just with me for security, and she just, if something happens to me, she disappears. I don't think I would stay with her. I'd just stay single and date around and have fun. Why would I stay with one person when I can have many? There has to be a reason for a guy to give up his innate, what is a guy's innate, or how shall I put this? What do guys want? When you boil it down, really boil it down, it's to spread their seed, right? That's evolution, right? We want to spread our seed. We see girls, we wish we could have this girl, this girl, this girl, this girl, and this girl. But why do we sacrifice that in a relationship? Because we see something in that person, and we have to have, that person has to have more than just looks and sexiness. It has to be more, and it has to be some type of, for lack of other words, security for the guy as well. That if something happens, she'll be there for you. If I get sick, I know Mia will be there for me. If I'm in an accident and have to sit in a wheelchair for the 6 months and I lose half my savings go to the hospital, I know she'll be there for me, right? You never know in life, but I feel she will be there for me. So there's that. And I think that's why people are willing to give up one part of their life to have the other part. I hope that answered your question. Red flag, she does not want to hold your hands in public. Yeah, PDA is public, God, my mind just went blank here. Public display of affection. And PDA was like frowned upon like maybe 15, 20, 30 years ago, but it's not anymore. So if you hear a girl here tells you, well, PDA, I don't want to hold your hand, and she walks ahead of you and she never leans into you and sitting with you and all that, she's not interested in you. I can tell you that right off the back. Steven says, authorities forecast a quick recovery in 2021, but trends suggest otherwise. The Philippines economy is mired in a recession with year-to-date GDP at minus 10%. And that's another thing, Steve, that's the official statistics. I think it's probably more. From what I've seen, it's probably a lot more. You walk around and you see all the restaurants that have shut down, it's probably at least 30%. All the hotels that are empty, that's 70%. The GDP is going to be down more than 10%. I'm not sure how they're measuring it, but that to me, that statistic seems skewed to me. I've read it too, but when I read it, I kind of reacted to that. And yeah, the economy here is really down. And I don't think they can do another year of this. I really don't. I think if they do, it'll be a total crash here. White Dog feels this chat is full of chicks and not men. If she does love you or doesn't love you, it isn't changing anything. The main thing I want from any woman is respect. She doesn't have to be in love with me or admire me. I respect her, she respects me. Yes, that's true, but there also has to be some type of character that binds you together. But good comment, David. Jenny Demara, I'm unlucky to be married. The old Puerto Rican guys, I almost lost my life. The only thing I thank him are wonderful children. Okay. David says, people are so focused, why is a person with them? Who cares? She lays down with you every night. If she is loyal, respectful, enjoy the things you do. You all enjoy life. Maybe you all are using each other. That's a really good point. I think using is a loaded word, but I think we're all getting something out of a relationship, right? I think women get something out of a relationship, men get something out of a relationship. And the main thing in a relationship, guys, is you got to have fun. And if you let the girl with you, she's moody, she's not holding your hand, she's disrespectful, she's not answering your phone, and you're feeling aggravated, why be with her? There are a million others waiting in line. Just, Richard Cooper said a phrase, he said, be slow to hire and quick to fire. Meaning, if you want to be with a girl, go slow. But if there are any red flags or any issue, fire her quickly. Don't waste your time. There's so many other options. Just don't waste your time. Even if I have 1 million pesos in my bank account, I still would like to marry an American. It's not only about money. Don't underestimate yourselves. That's a good comment, Liz, but 1 million pesos really isn't much money for Americans. I mean, that's $20,000. That's not enough to retire on. If you're talking 20, 30 million pesos, then yes. But yeah, but it seems like from what the girls are saying here that they're with foreigners for many other reasons besides security. So good comment, Liz. A Filipino will want to show you off to all her friends and family. If she doesn't, that's a red flag. Always on her phone, also a red flag for the relationship. Yes, that is true. Filipinas when they like you, they like to show you off. They like to show you off to your other friends. They like to boast about you. They like to take you to your family. But again, that's if you live here in the Philippines. If you're not living here in the Philippines, if, for example, you're on chatting with them on Skype and they're showing you, they're holding the phone and showing to your friends that they're talking with you and showing to your family and sisters and brothers, oh, this is my man, then yes, they are proud of you, and that's a really, really good sign. Guys, I'm going to go about 20 more minutes, and then I'm going to say thank you and goodbye, as I'm going to go get a coffee. Let's see. So I'm going to try to go quickly through here, all the comments. I lost my place again. Damn. Matthew says, dire straits, Paul. Yes, that's right. Dire straits. Money for nothing and your chicks for free. No chicks for me tonight, thanks. And have a great day as off to sleep. Thank you, Matthew, and have a good night. Thank you for the contribution, man. Now I gotta find my... dire straits. I'm going to go quickly through here. Got 19 minutes. I got a lot of comments. It's hard being a business person, having the mindset and sitting doing nothing. Better to find something to keep your head in the game without being back in the rat race. That's true. If you're a go kind of person, you got to find something to do. You really do. Ed Queens, you're not crazy about working. You are a professional, and work keeps us busy and defines us. COVID closed down my mid-sized company. I've been doing some light consulting and feel better. Yeah, that's the way I am also, Ed. So if you see me back at work in 6 months or a year, don't be surprised, Dars. Yes, guys, thank you for the info there. Elvis. Hi, Paul. Glad all's going with you regards to Mia. Yeah, I think Mia's watching. A third of the military is not taking the shots, really? I thought it was mandatory there. More and more sheepy in the U.S. fear factor. Yeah, I don't mean to sound bad, but it seems more and more Americans have become more and more simpish in their behavior, for lack of other words. I see it all the time, and it's not a good trend. Guys, I know I've plugged these books. I get no commission on it or anything, but Richard Cooper, The Unplugged Alpha, and Rational Male by The Rational Male by God, my mind is going old here. But a book called The Rational Male. Look it up. We call those stalkers. When her favorite song is by Biz Markie, You Got What I Need, but she never sings it when you're around. Red flag. This level of madness, man. He's a funny guy. In the Midwest, no waiting for shots anywhere. Many are not taking them if they're under 40 years old. Okay. You spike and fall with virus, even though these people already have vaccines. Yeah, I hear there's new strands of the virus coming out, so there's that too. I think it's going to be a yearly thing. Here when I live in Tennessee, they have walk-in appointments for any age. Just walk in, get vaccinated, no wait time. Awesome. Morena says, to my question, I like a foreign guy because I think he will be more faithful. Most porno I know have mistresses. I want my man all for myself. Good one. Good one. Okay. I can't answer that, David. I worked there from 1999 to 2000 as OFW. Then my American boss bring me here in US 2005. Okay. Not a conspiracy theory. AZ vaccines has been linked to a small number of deaths from blood clots. I have had my first and will still go for the second. Yeah, actually, I read about that. Same as happened in Norway, and I read about that. But then I read the statistics that the percentage of people that died of blood clots would have been equivalent to the percentage of people that died of blood clot on any given day anyway, if that makes any sense. So you have to look at statistics very carefully because they can be very easily skewed to believe something. You know, there's hundreds of millions or over 100 million people that have had shots, and you have to look at how many would have died otherwise. I mean, people die of all kinds of stuff every day. But it's easy to blame the shot if you had the shot and 3 days later you died, right? A red flag, she wants to hire a pool and you don't even have a pool. Good one. My checklist, I don't date American women, and I didn't either at the end when I lived there. I dated foreign women who lived in the US because their attitude was a lot better. Damn, Norway women are white as typing paper, but do have a nice jungle gyms. Okay. Huge spike in virus in Florida among people that have vaccines. Okay. Side effects are many, not FDA approved. I think we'll know the side effects more and more, but you know, vaccines have been developed for many, many, many years, and I just there are side vaccines to any. Side effects to any type of vaccine. I'm not worried about it. Willie, there's always a few small complications with the vaccine. This isn't rocket science. The virus is still far deadlier. Exactly. That's my point. It's still out there. Anyway, with the brain cell can understand. Let's not put it that way, but yeah, there are side effects with the vaccine, but the virus is deadlier. So yeah. Jeffrey says this is a good topic. Thank you. Dire Straits there. I'm going to jump over the vaccine stuff, guys, as that's not the topic. Go to Greece. Food is the best. I'm Greek, Australian, and I have been to Greece over 10 times now. Food is superb there. Yeah, Greek food. I've never been to Greece and had Greek food, but I've had Greek food outside Greece, and it's very similar to Mediterranean with their own flair. And I love Mediterranean food. You know, I lived in Egypt for 9 years, and I love hummus, dolmas, kebabs. I love it all. So, fool, man, I love Mediterranean food. So, my favorite food actually. I think mods need to delete these conspiracy theories on vaccines. Yeah, I'm just going to skip those. Best place to invest and make money is Asia. Best place for social and no, US is the best place to invest and make money. I agree. Asia the best place for social and dating. Also agree. Jenny, I'm going back to the Philippines, then back to Europe. Okay, good. I'll probably head back to Europe in 2-3 years. Here's level of madness again. When she pulls her sunglasses over his eyes so he can't tell what she's looking at. Okay. Money, power, fame, as Tom Likas says. Yes, Tom Likas, that's a character, a radio show that was on quite a while ago, but his opinions and the way he says, I think he was the first red-pilled man that actually expressed it without knowing he was red-pilled. You've been to Spain? Wow. Yeah, Spain is wow. Not cheap. Actually depends where in Spain you are. There are actually places in Spain that are living-wise would cost you just the same as the Philippines with a higher standard of living. But yeah, if you go to the big cities, no. Look at Mick Jagger, uglier than the north side of Mule heading south, but yet dates all the supermodels. Exactly. Fame and money, right? But no looks. But he's got 2 out of 3. First dates in the US are like a job interview. I only date recent immigrants in the US. Europe is great, and most places are closer than the US, which has great wilderness areas. Yeah, I completely agree with you. In the US, when you date American girls, it's like a job interview. What kind of car do you have? How much money do you make? It's like, what the fuck? Europe is 100 times better, says web designer faster. Okay. Wondering Doc, I went out with a 33-year-old Korean woman a few days ago. Her longest time dating a guy was 4 months. I ended the date shortly after. Red flag central. Exactly. That's just a fun date, not a long-term relationship. I had a blind date with a fat girl once. We met at a restaurant. I lost my appetite and stopped eating. She finished my dinner for me. I don't know if you're joking or not, but that's a funny. That's a funny one, man. Just curious, Paul. I do most of my investing in low-cost invest funds and ETFs. Why do you pick REITs over index funds? I have a blend, but I put REITs in there because they have high dividend payout. 5 to 7%. Most of these growth companies have less than 1%. So I have a blend of different things. Yeah, that can be a red flag, but here in the Philippines it's a bit different actually. They they fall in love with you quickly, and my theory is because they're not actually in love with you. They think they are, but they're in love with the whole surrounding of you. So for example, if you live in a condo, you have a swimming pool, and they come visit, it's they feel like they love you, but I don't think they think that way, but I think it's everything around you. It's just like the whole, you're fun to be with, and they can go swimming at the pool, they can go with you to restaurants, and they just fall in love with that whole lifestyle and with you at the same time. So it happens really quick here. It can happen really quick, but is it a red flag over here? 50-50. Okay, guys, I think I'm gonna good attitude, Paul. First coffee on me. Okay, that's a lot of coffees today. I'll have to save some for the next days. But I think I'm gonna start wrapping it up here, guys. No more comments, please. I'm fully aware it's statistically insignificant. In fact, the UK, it's 1 in 1.3 million deaths from selected blood clots. I won't hesitate to have the AC vaccine. Exactly. Good. I didn't have the statistics, but that's what I was talking about, Willie. Good stuff. Working helps in a relationship. That's a really good point, Ed. If a girl is working, because that's another point with relationships here under the COVID, under the lockdowns, people have been together 24/7, and I don't think that's really healthy for long periods of time. People need to be away from each other and do their own thing. And when you work, you get up at 6 or 7, come back at 6 or 7, and you only really see each other 2-3 hours a day, at least on the working days, and maybe a day or two on the weekend. So a working girl helps, and if you're dating a girl that's working, she's not constantly bugging you on the phone and texting you and everything, because she actually has a job. So anyway, guys, I think I'll go 6 more minutes here. Rich, famous, and dangerous. Think James Bond. Yes, James Bond. And think about James Bond. He also has that attitude of abundance, right? He knows the girls like him, and that also creates attraction from other women. So Spain is not so impressive. Their claim to fame is bull. I'll have to disagree with you. I love Spain. I've been to Barcelona. I've been to the Costa del Sol. Been to Malaga. I've been many places in Spain, and I just love it. I love the history. I love the culture. I love the food. I love Spain. So I completely disagree with you there. Thank you so much, Jeffrey, for the super sticker, and I appreciate it. Thank you for the super sticker, Jenny, and really do appreciate you guys sending that to me. There are even right ETFs, yes, and that's a good way to invest if you want diversification and you want less risk. So, but usually I've noticed the the return on investment on those are not as high as individual REITs, but the risk factor is probably less. So nothing worse than getting a fat cashier or waitress who flirts with you. I mean, that's okay if they flirt. You just show disinterest. They got to have fun too. I mean, a fat chick's got to have fun too. Okay, guys, I think I'm wrapping it up here. I think I've been through most of the comments. Here, I missed this one. What I'm saying is this: I think it's very hard for a 22-year-old Filipina totally in love with a 65-year-old man. He knows this is going in, so he can't complain. He's using her for youth and beauty, so it's both ways. Yeah, maybe you're right. I don't know. I think girls do fall in love with older guys. I really do. I mean, if the older guy takes care of himself, grooms himself, works out, and he's a fun guy, likes to go on adventure, I think it's possible. But now, if you're 75 or 85, that's a different story. Ed from Queen says, Paul, Spain does nothing for me. Barcelona is a cool place. Well, we all have different opinions. I love Spain. I love Spain. I've been to Italy. I've been to Rome. I love the history in Italy. I love the food. Like I said, I haven't been to Greece. I've been to Portugal. I love Portugal too. So I love that whole coastal area. And there's just the food, the culture, the way the people are. I found the people in Spain also are very happy type of people, at least in the Costa del Sol part. Ed King from Queen says, Exxon Mobil, nearly AT&T. Yeah, I got a lot of AT&T stock, by the way. That pays really good dividends. Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap it up now. It's 2 minutes. Ed from Queen says, Argentina, Cuba. Never been there, but I did date a girl from Argentina, and she was wild, put it mildly, but she was nice. I've heard they have the best steaks in the world from Argentina. So if you love steaks, Argentina is the place to go. But there's a lot of Spanish culture in Argentina, and a lot of German culture there too. I think Argentina would be worth visiting. Cuba also, but didn't they forbid Americans from going there? I'm not sure, but a lot of places to see in the world, guys. But Argentina, Cuba, I think are, yeah. Mora Yu says, Mora Yu is here. Okay, I think you should visit. Oh God, here we go. I think you said Cuba. Peep Cates is married to Kevin Klein, and he's 17 years older. Okay. Okay, guys, I think that's it. I'm wrapping it up. And if I missed anybody, I'm sorry about that. And thank you for all the super chats and all the contributions. I'm going to go enjoy my coffee and take a break. So again, thank you everybody for joining, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you. Bye-bye.